Resolution 2338, and I want to make sure that we impart as much information as we possibly can to help with preparations. It is much better to be prepared for something and have it not end up being what we think it might be than the other way around. And I think the lesson we all learned from Ian was when Tampa Bay was looking to get walloped and they got nothing because it came our way instead. If you're in the cone or you're near the cone, you're going to get something, and we need to be ready. And that's what we're here to discuss tonight. So with that, let me go ahead and read the resolution into the record, and then we'll begin the discussion. Resolution number 23-38 is a resolution of the City of Council of the City of Port Orange, Volusia County, Florida, declaring a state of local emergency, authorizing the city manager or his designee to exercise emergency management powers, ratifying actions taken in preparation for Tropical Storm Idalia, which is now a hurricane, and providing for an effective date. May I have a motion for approval?
Move to approve resolution number 23-38.
Second.
It is very good that both of you are in agreement with making that motion and that second. Otherwise, we'd be in a world of hurt. Wayne, please tell us what's going on with preparations and bring us up to date, please.
All right, and Robin's got a PowerPoint slide to help for people watching at home so you can see some of the facts on the screen. So we started last week doing the preparations that we do. Unfortunately, this will be the third one in less than 12 months. But we did the stuff people are used to seeing us do, lowering the water in the ponds. You know, there's over 500 ponds in the city, only about 100 of them are city maintained, but the ones where we can lower the water levels, we have done so. In many cases, some people may have seen that happen Thursday or Friday, but they have groundwater that seeps back up, so we've got to go back in and continue to do that. We have temporary portable pumps that we've moved to certain locations. The Public Works crews have been throughout the city inspecting drainage, both open and pipe ditches. And we've also been looking at, we've had the street sweepers throughout the city. So all those preparations are underway. We've been testing generators. We've been testing all the mechanical equipment. The EOC has been brought back up. Everything's working in the EOC. So in addition to all that, we put sandbags out today. You may have seen the piles that are out there now. We put 5 large piles out there today. It's actually working pretty well. We've got us spaced apart so you can get 2 groups in there at a time. It seems to have worked out really well. We're still open actually until 8 o'clock out there tonight. We will not be removing the pile, so it'll still be there. We'll start back up again tomorrow at 8 and go until the weather permits. But again, we won't remove the pile. So if you need to, you can still get to that pile. It will still be there throughout that process. And then as you can see in here, so we had a call with the county this afternoon, listening to where they were going. We have still not, unless it's happened, everything's evolving, but unless they've changed that, we had not heard yet what their plans are for the schools in the area. But the county did say they were going to close county offices on Wednesday, so we're likely to follow suit with the county and close at the close of business on Tuesday and be closed on Wednesday to focus on the storm both while it's here and recovery afterwards. Our parks programs that are going on will be ended tomorrow at 5. We won't run parks programs. We don't have a final answer yet on solid waste. Tomorrow we will be picking up regular trash on Tuesday. Wednesday's yard waste day. Waste Pro does not go out when the winds are over 35 miles an hour. It seems relatively certain that that's going to happen in Wednesday morning. So they're not likely to be out Wednesday. You know, we have the ordinance that says you can't put debris out on the street when the winds get a certain speed. So we're going to put notices out to be prepared for that to happen tomorrow, so people aren't putting trash out. If for any reason it appears that Waste Pro will do that, we'll put the notices and get it out, but we're expecting them not to function on Wednesday to pick up yard debris. So we will follow that with as appropriate, depending on the level of damage that we see following the storm. The debris contracts are in place. The debris management site has been pre-approved and ready to be used. Should we need, if we have enough damage that we need to bring in the contractors, we will do so. If we're extremely fortunate and there's minimal damage, we could do it ourselves or with Waste Pro, but we are prepared to have the full-blown debris management people come in and do that.
Okay.
I can go over other stuff if anything else you want to start with.
No, I think that those are the basics. We want to be able to hit the points of preparation. And of course, my contact with the school board said they have not made a final decision on Wednesday whether there'll be school or not, but most of that will be determined tomorrow afternoon based on what they expect wind speed to be, because they can't run the buses in a similar fashion that Waste Pro can't pick up trash when the winds are too high. Same thing, they can't run buses, and we need to be aware that if you're on the beach side, the bridges will close at, what, 39 miles an hour, I believe it is a standard, sustained winds. So the bridges will close and they'll reopen when they're deemed safe again. So we need our residents also to prepare for that over there on the beach side, that they may be alone for a little while. You know, if they're without power for a day or whatever, just make sure that you have enough ice, the things that you can keep your food fresh until we can, you know, you will not be forgotten, but all at the same time is you have to be prepared for those things. So that's what we're talking about right now. I also wanted to point out that, as you said, sand is available. Right now the forecast is 2 to 4 inches of rain. That's if the storm follows the forecast. Ian didn't follow the middle of the forecast. Ian veered all the way to the right of the cone. So right now, the closer it gets, the more certainty we'll have. So right now, if we're expecting 2 to 4 inches of rain, I think that that's a good promise. That's pretty promising, because Ian, when you're talking about 22 inches of rain, when 10 inches will decimate you, that's just a different animal. So I'm very confident, and I'm very pleased that the operations Public Works is employed to make sure that we're ready for this. But at the same time, we don't know, and what we don't know until we know it. So that's what preparation and planning is all about. And I'm going to go to the large board we have tonight and make sure that we get all the points and hit. Tracy, you got anything?
No, I think the biggest thing is just prepared. Don't loosen up and not prepare. Everybody gets gun shy sometimes for preparing, and you know, the supplies that you need is always the supplies that will stay and be beneficial in the future. They don't go bad. They're not perishable.
You know, we talked about, well, this storm is not going to be as bad as Ian, so we should be all okay. Well, nothing has ever been as bad as Ian before, and may or may not be since, and I hope not. But that doesn't mean you don't take it seriously. We've all seen these storms over the years. All of them have their own personality. All of them have different challenges, thus the preparation. And frankly, if I've got to pack some more food in my freezer, it might mean less grocery trips in the next couple of weeks, but you know, it keeps if you get the right things, and you'll be able to use it up. So let's just plan ahead.
I did forget the slide on the screen today. We're going to have the citizen hotline open tomorrow. The county's is open, and I think they're going to open at midnight tonight and run it through. So the hotline number is on here, the 506-5999, as of tomorrow morning going through the storm. And we do intend to do a partial activation of the EOC tomorrow night at midnight. So from what I've seen of the upcoming storm, there may be an outer band that comes through tomorrow late afternoon and the evening, and then there'll be a gap, and then the worst part is supposed to occur between 3 or so in the morning and about 10 or so in the morning. So we will have our core public safety employees in the EOC, as well as our public works and public utilities staff in there, and we have crews around and shifts stabled to work all that. With right now what looks to be maybe a windstorm issue, with depending on whether we get hit with bands, but they've been out and made sure that the trucks are all ready to go to clear the streets and pick up trees. So if we're doing more of a more traditional vegetative debris cleanup, we're ready to do that, and we'll have all the crews out as soon as those winds die down to start cleaning up.
And I do want to address one thing. All the rumors, everybody's come back with the same rumors again, that we didn't pump down ponds during Ian. We didn't, we shut down generators during Ian. That just was simply not the case. We were ready. Pumps were working. Things functioned well. What we had was a storm that completely overwhelmed, 22 inches of rain. when we know that 10 inches is overwhelming, and then you have a long system. You have 4 changes in tides. You have a canal system that brings the flooding down through it from our cities to the north, exacerbating the problem. What we had was, and we're still, you know, and I'm not making excuses, because we've got 6 public works projects that we're going to be working on to improve our system based on the things that we've learned from Ian. And I can't promise that we can stop anything and everything, because that's just not realistic. But all the same, we are going to work hard to improve our systems, so no matter where you live, it's going to be better the next time around. So just want to make sure that people know that I have every faith in our Public Works Department, as well as our emergency services departments, that will rise to the occasion this time. And I'm hoping that this is just one big exercise, but if it's not, Port Orange, we're going to be there for you. Wayne, you got anything else for us?
No, sir.
With that, Scott?
Wayne, we have a handful of communities that are more susceptible to localized flooding than some of the others. Just as you do, you and your staff does a great job keeping us, you know, up to date on the state EOC stuff and stuff like that. But also, if you would, those few communities that we know, just keep us up to date as much as possible, what we're seeing there. And if nothing else, this may be a good exercise as we're going to get some rain, I'm pretty certain of it, is for our teams and crews to kind of go out there and see how some of the runoff is acting, and how some of our efforts have paid off, and where we can still, you know, maybe there's some low-hanging fruit out there that will reveal itself, that we can continue over the, you know, while we're waiting to get some of these bigger projects done, kind of see where those are. So I intend to try to get out there as much as I can, as we can, and look around myself. But if you can kind of help keep us in the loop on what we're seeing in real time as much as possible, that'd be great.
We will, and a couple of those neighborhoods are ones where we've done some of those temporary testing. So we just finished in the ditch on the north side of Sleepy Hollow. We did that last week, so that's been cleared. So it'll be interesting to see that. Plus, that's where we did the pond lowering test to see if that will help when we get the rain from that. And we were actually out today in the Sugar Forest area and did some clearing in an area where the water levels are lower now, where we could see some areas to get into and clear. And we've gone in, I think it was Councilman Bastian who brought this up, the DOT's cleaning of the Nova Canal in that area. So we got feedback from them saying that they considered it done. It was clean from the debris from the hurricane. So our guys went out and took a look at it, and it's for DOT standards. They did get in there and clean the canal. There's not mattresses and huge trees or anything like that. So they have that, so that should help some going forward. And then the private construction sites that are anywhere near these areas, the staff has been out making sure that they've got them set also for stormwater with silt fences and things like that as well. So there's a lot of those things to go in and check and make sure that how did they work.
And I did get some phone calls today from some different residents, and they noticed that some of the stuff had been pumped down. They noticed we've pre-staged some generators and crew, so they're very appreciative of being able to see those. I know they happen each and every time, they always do, but just on the backside of an event like we had last year, I think people are just a little bit more in tune to what's going on, stressed, some anxieties going on out there. You know, I mean, some of them just every time it rains, and I get it. I mean, I completely can understand it and sympathize with that. So appreciate all of our city employees when they're out there, and I know they'll keep that and be mindful of it. But you know, a lot of people are going to be scared for the next few days, no matter what, till this thing's off somewhere way from our state. So.
And the Sugar House quadplex is gone now, so it's been torn out, cleared, and the site's been completely cleared. There's nothing now left but the driveway apron on the site, and I think they've got one of their pieces of equipment still sitting on there, but that site is cleared.
Yeah, as of this morning, it was there.
Okay. You got anything else, Tracy?
No, I'm good.
Let's call the roll on this resolution.
Councilman Grubbs.
Yes.
Councilman Siltner.
Yes.
Mayor Burnett.
Yes, 3-0. Let me just repeat one more time. An emergency has officially been declared by the state, the county, and now us in the city of Port Orange as of 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. If you need or have any questions, the hotline will be active. So feel free to call 386-506-4647. 5999. That's the hotline number for the city of Port Orange. The county's hotline is already going. And of course, if you have an immediate need for an emergency, you always call 911 and we'll respond to that as well. So 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, the citizen hotline will be active, 386-506-5999. Sandbags will be available until 8 o'clock tonight, and then beginning again at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. They will be available planning on till 7 o'clock tomorrow night, or while supplies last, or until weather deteriorates. Don't wait till the last second if you can help it, because you really don't want to be shoveling that stuff in the rain if you can help it, because you know, even if the winds haven't picked up and we're not getting the serious stuff yet, we'll still get squalls. It is Florida, and that's just the way it is. So allow yourself the time. If you have anything, any large debris, it would be a good idea not to put it out for pickup Wednesday morning. Keep it secure, keep it set. If you have any debris piles right now, please try to do your best to secure them, because they're not the garbage routinely, yard waste is picked up on Wednesday. There's no plans for advancing that, because quite frankly, the same people that do that will be picking up your trash tomorrow and recycling, so there's no additional resources for that. So plan accordingly. And if you've got any debris that you cannot dispose of, that you need to dispose of, you can take it directly to dump as well. We do have debris contracts in place. Hopefully we will not need them, but you know, like I said, it's better to prepare for the worst and have a better outcome than it is the other way around. Wayne, like I said, I appreciate everything that you've done. Appreciate everything that your staff has done, and hopefully this is nothing more than a live exercise, but there's no doubt about it. We will get some wind. We will get some rain. I can't tell you how much, but whatever it's going to be, it's going to be ready. We will be ready. Appreciate y'all, and we will see you all on the other side of this. Have a good night, everybody.